Hello everyone and welcome to your intermediate Pilates class. So today we're going to start to kind of introduce a little bit more flow. We're going to start to look at introducing kind of modifications and progressions for crab, which is a part of the roll-in series, but it's really difficult, really challenging, but it's all about kind of keeping that nice kind of mobility of the spine whilst still continuing to strengthen through those deep abdominal muscles. But we are going to look at starting to kind of continue to open up the body, including but not limited to hips, thighs and your upper back. So you are going to need kind of like a blanket or a couple of pillows just to kind of provide that extension in a few different ways. So make sure that your space is ready. It is safe to go. We're pretty much going to be lying down on the mat today, so you don't need to have too much kind of movement and space above you. So once you have all of that set up, grab yourself a drink of water and let's go. Right, okay, apologies again if my mum decides to ring. She has this perfect knack of ringing in the middle of class. So, right, okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to pop the pillows or whatever we're using as a prop just to one side. I'm going to take those hands and spread them out. Okay, so if you want to, you can take those knees a little bit wider or you can keep them hip distance apart. Just making sure that obviously if they are wide, it is a conscious decision rather than not thinking about it. Okay, so hands are spreading down and just take a moment just to realise if the insides of the elbows are facing forward. If they are, just kind of loosen them off a bit and make sure that they are facing in towards one another. Just checking in with the crown of the head as you breathe in through the nose. Try and see if you can lengthen it out, and as we breathe out, keep that lengthen and just start to pull the belly button up and away from the floor. So breathing in, expanding through the rib cage, and then breathing out, drawing the belly button up. And again, my breathing is dramatic just so you can hear it. It doesn't have to be. So breathing in through the nose and then breathing out. Good, one more time, just breathing in, taking the time and breathing out. Good, lovely. Next time you breathe out, you're going to send your hips back into a child's pose. So let's breathe in here. Expand through the rib cage as we breathe out. Rock the way into the heels of the hands and breathing out, sinking it back. And you don't have to rest the head down just yet if the shoulders aren't feeling open enough. We then breathe in, keep the back nice and flat, bring yourself all the way back to all fours. And we're just going to repeat that. Expand through the side of the body, breathing in and breathing out. Knit the ribs together and see if you can really kind of allow the armpits to kind of head down towards the floor. You don't have to drop the head down if you don't want to. Just keeping that movement, breathing in and breathing out. We're going to keep moving through this and just really as we come into that child's pose, just allow your hips to drop down. See if you can scoop the abdominals away, but this time as you breathe in, you're going to come just a little bit further forward. Again, nothing too strenuous, just a nice, I suppose, relax and stretch as much as we can across the backs of the wrists. So breathing in to come forward and then breathe out to come down. The more comfortable you get with sitting back, making sure that the feet are kind of on the tops of the feet, the weight is on the tops of the feet rather than rolling them out. And allowing your head to just slowly but gently drift down. Breathing in, coming through. And then breathing out, sitting back down again. So again, it's just a little bit of gentle movement. Breathing in and breathing out. Fabulous. Just two more. Breathing in and breathing out. Notice that the rib cage isn't being displaced as you come forward. Breathing in and breathing out. Alright, let's keep moving. So today's class is just going to be progression after progression. Let's see if we can start to move the spine a little bit. So whilst we're down in this child's pose, pull your belly button all the way up, and it's almost like you're trying to kind of round your spine, a bit like an angry cat. Yeah? We're then going to keep pulling the belly button up, weight isn't on the hands essentially. And then we're going to think about bringing the pelvis under and then flattening it out. We're not going to come into an upward dog, even though it might feel like it's the right thing to do. And then kind of in that ski slope spine like you would be if your kind of knees were in like a shoulder bridge, for example. So we're here. Next bit. Okay, we're going to continue, but this time we're going to think about sending the sit bones up. Now this is a weird ripple and it feels quite nice, but it does feel a bit strange to begin with at first. So send your sit bones up to the ceiling. Send your sit bones all the way back. Increase the, the fold at the front of the hips and then round through the back. So that is the only kind of part of the extension that you've got. So you're going to contract through the abdominals, really feel that stretch across the upper back, especially as you breathe in, expand the rib cage. We've got that abdominal work here. As we extend out, the back is straight. We then breathe out, send the sit bones up to the ceiling, and that is definitely a pelvic tilt rather than a drop of the spine and the shoulder blades. And then we're going to sit it back down. So we've definitely got this kind of undulation through the back. But what we're not doing is sending the hips down just yet. Okay, so breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, sit bones up and breathing out. And you're going to do that 3 more times, okay? And what I want you to do is just assess how your back is feeling. So you might notice that all of your awareness has come onto your hands because you're really applying pressure in here if it's too much, and ease it off. Yeah, if we can, really think about keeping your weight as far back as possible while scooping the abdominals away from the thighs. When we get to this point where our hands are flat and we're at our fullest cat stretch, we really want to be nice and active, tipping the pelvis under before we get to that flat back. And again, notice if you are missing that bit out, ask yourself the question why. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, lift the hips and breathing out. We're now going to take a breath in to come forward and a breath out to come back. So it's a little bit quicker, but what we don't want to happen is that the breathing becomes more rapid. It's just the movement becomes a little bit more fluid. We're just kind of starting to get warm. So breathing in, flatten out, breathing out. Remember, the movement is linked to the length of the breath. So we breathe in and we breathe out. So again, it's a breath in to unravel and a breath out. Now I don't know about you, but my upper back loves that pressing. It's just, there's something about that upper trapezius place that's just like, oh, it's the sweet spot. So try and figure out where you feel like your body needs to be for this. If you feel like you need to send those sit bones up a little bit higher to come back, that's fine. Just make sure that the lower back is protected in that. Yeah. Especially if you have a more kind of prone, kind of flexible spine in that area. Yeah. Okay, lovely. Just one more. So breathing in and breathing out. Alright, fabulous. So we're going to unravel ourselves. We're going to breathe in and we're going to be in this lengthened position. Now, I couldn't not put push-ups in here. But what we're not going to do is a full variation as such. Okay, so making sure that the hips are nice and released, making sure the sit bones aren't up, they're also not tucked under. If anything, you want them slightly tucked under if it feels comfortable. Making sure that those elbows are going to go back by the rib cage. We're going to do 3. Okay, and this is again, just put a little bit more heat through the shoulders and the hands, lowering down as much as you feel comfortable. So breathing in to lower. Feel the squeeze in the shoulder blades and then breathe out to push back up. We're going to do 2 more. So we breathe in and again you can bring yourself into a box position rather than this lengthened push-up position if your wrists aren't feeling too comfortable. One more time, breathing in and breathing out and sit yourself back. If you can, leave your hands where they were and really feel that stretch, even if it means that your glutes don't go down towards the floor or down towards the heels. That doesn't matter too much. But really reach those hands as far forward as you can, finding that stretch across the traps and into the triceps as well and into the lats. And if you can, just allow the forehead to rest down. And again, I'm keeping this quite still, but again, if you need to, you can move. You know, like I say, it's kind of trying to find the flow between the transitions, so if that means that you need to move around, please feel free to do that, or you can just keep it nice and still. Good, lovely, and if we can, pull the belly button away, leave those hands where they are, and see if you can really look either towards your belly button or down towards your feet. And again, we're going to unravel ourselves. Alright, lovely. We're going to try 3 more. We're going to keep the knees down on the floor. Okay, so breathing in, squeeze the glutes, keep your abdominals pulled in, lowering ourselves down. See if you can keep those elbows squeezed in. Pull the belly button up and press it back up. We breathe in to lower it down. Out to press it up. One more time for good luck. Breathing in. And breathing out. Lovely. Sit it back. This time what I want you to do is tuck your toes under. So if you need to, walk your hands back. I'm going to take a little bit of a stretch for the bottoms of the feet. Now I know calf stretches were recommended, so if you need to, you can kind of do this slightly more gentle. You don't have to send the heels back straight away, it's just about getting a stretch on the underneath side of the feet. And again, keep it still. If you want to, you can move around. If you want to, you can take some small kind of springs forward and back. Again, it depends, anything that you need. Good, lovely. If you can, keep the toes tucked under, round through your back. And this time we're going to lengthen ourselves out. If we can, lengthening those knees away from the floor. We're going to do 3 push-ups here. Don't worry, we're not going to do 2 sets. It's just going to be 1 set. So we're going to breathe in, lower it down. Breathing out, press it back up. Good, lovely. And see how you can really engage through your abdominals to help you, rather than it just being about your arms. Yeah. The last one. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your abdominals, and press it up. Keep your toes tucked under and sit yourself back. This time, if we can, you're going to grab a hold of your pillows or your blocks, whatever you've got. Okay. And we're going to reach those hands forward. Now you might want your elbows supported as well, just reaching it forward, so it gives you a little bit more space to kind of find a little bit of a gap through here. It also means that I can see you. Yeah. If it's uncomfortable to have your feet tucked under, just allow them to rest, but just know that you kind of have to be slightly more further forward, so it is kind of recommended, a little bit encouraged, I suppose, keeping your toes tucked under. So just allow yourself to just drop down. And again, taking two little breaths here. Either keep yourself still, or if you don't feel like that's the right thing to do, then making sure that we're keeping the breath nice and calm. If you've got nice open shoulders, 2 pillows probably isn't going to be enough, but it's just nice to find something that is a little bit more elevated. Good, lovely. If you can, just tuck the toes under and allow your feet to rest. Now my knees are a little bit wider than my feet, so my feet are together and my knees are slightly apart. Just feels more comfortable that way. So your hands are elevated on the pillows. And what I want you to do is keep your head where it is, but just walk your hands off to one side. Yeah, so again, obviously your head will lift because otherwise your other hand can't come across. And so just making sure that your hand is always in between, your head, sorry, is always in between your 2 hands. So we're reaching across to one side. So what we're finding is this kind of side stretch. Okay, so we're in a child's pose, reaching across. Not entirely sure what this music is, ladies, but it's alright. So we're reaching across. Good. And really try and send your hip down on the opposite side as well, and walk your hands back and across to the other side. And again, making sure that we are trying our best, whichever hand we're reaching over with, but trying our very best to keep the elbow down. So when we walk across to the right, for example, we want to make sure that we're trying to rotate the back so that that elbow is down. Yeah, so we're kind of reaching across here in a child's pose. Yeah. Good, lovely, and one more breath here. Good. Alright, we're going to keep the flow going as much as we possibly can, but we are just going to move the pillows off to the side. Alright, so if we can, we're going to bring ourselves up and through to a 4-point kneeling position again. So making sure that those hands are directly underneath the shoulders. Make sure we're going from behind us. And my knees are directly underneath my hips. So Pilates Classics Women. So we're going to kind of progress through to some funny little side balances with this one. So if your wrists do hurt at any point, you can come down, give yourself a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a stretch, whatever you need to do. If it does help, sometimes it does, and my pillows are a little bit too high, but you can place the heels of your hands on something slightly more elevated, and that does help if it is kind of getting a little bit pinchy in the forearms. So this is where we start to really make sure that the warm-up of the abdominals that we did for our push-ups ever so slightly, we want to try and keep the body nice and still. So insides of the elbows facing in towards one another, making sure that your box position is ready, it is strong and it's stable. You're going to reach your left arm forward as you slide your right leg back. If we can, breathing in to lift up. Breathing out, bring it back down. Without any significant weight transitioning, we're going to switch across to the other side. So lengthen across the floor first, and then breathe in to lift. Breathing out to bring it down. And you're going to continue, so breathing in to lengthen out and lift, breathing out to come back down. And again, just checking in with how this one feels. You might feel like you're slightly more in control on one side. So if we can, making sure that we're really drawing abdominals in, we're keeping one arm lengthened at the same time as we're lengthening that leg back. Fabulous, great. Just one more time on each side. Breathing in to lengthen out. Out to bring it back down. And we're still calm. Yeah, it's not too dynamic just yet. Breathing in and breathing out. Alright, if we can, keep switching that lower abdominal section arm. We're going to breathe in, lengthen out. Spine isn't going to change. We're not going to round the back, but we're going to tap the hand towards the knee. That was really difficult to explain. Extend out, breathing in. Same arm, tapping the hand to the knee without rounding the back. And extend out, breathing in. Breathing out, tap the hand to the knee. Last one, breathing in. Tap the hand towards the knee, breathing out. Lower the hand down, lower the knee down. Other side, breathing in to lengthen out. Breathing out, tap it in. Breathing in to lengthen out. And tap it in. So your square is staying still, your back isn't rounding. Your foot can be on the floor if you feel like it weighs a ton. Yeah, good. Lovely. One more, breathing in, breathing out. And tap it back down. Alright, so again, come off the wrists, take yourself into a little bit of a shake if you need to. If you want to, you can do the same thing, but what we are going to do is start to kind of look at that balance variation. So when we start to move the eyes, that's when the balance comes into play. It means we have to switch the whole thing on. So if we can, we're going to lengthen arm and leg, and we're going to come into that kind of cat and cow pose and really try and hug your knee in towards your chest without the foot being down. Yeah, so the back is really rounded. You have to try your best to keep your body square though. If you know that actually one arm isn't going to be very comfortable, you can keep both down to the floor and try and think about drawing your belly button away and getting your nose to your knee. Yeah? And we're going to try 4 on each side. So once you've done 4 extensions and taps in, place that knee down with control, breathing in, lengthen out. And again, remember, it's not necessarily about how quick we do this, it really is about trying to find as much space and control on that one leg, that one hand, and still keeping that control even as we contract in and change the focus. Good, lovely. And again, no rush. We've got 4 on one side, 4 on the other. And when you are ready and you've done that, rest yourself back into a child's pose or some kind of comfortable rest position. All right, but again, no rush at all. Good, nice. Fabulous. So keep moving through. If we've finished, we've finished. If not, you know, kind of just keep moving through that. What we're going to look at, I'm going to turn that down. So what we're going to look at now is we've just done that variation where we have hand and leg, arm and leg away. What we're going to start to now look at is having both hands flat but having a different part of the body away from the floor. So in this instance, it'll be the knees. Alright, you'll notice as soon as you lift the knees, our balance becomes really, our focus, becomes really about making sure that all of this is nice and kind of strongly connected. Yeah, so if we can, press the hands into the floor. This time we're going to tuck the toes under. So let's breathe in, and as we breathe out, hover the knees. Yeah, so my sit bones aren't up towards the ceiling, they're not rounded, they are flat. Alright. If we can, keep your body in the same place, just lower the knees down. Keep it active, press it up. And feel that deep connection into the lower part of the abdominals. And breathe out, rest it down. Breathing in, breathing out, press it up. Good, lovely. 2 more times. Breathing in, breathing out. Last time, breathing in. This time we're going to hold, so we're going to find ourselves into a little bit of a twist. Yeah, so my feet have then become kind of flat almost. I'm kind of pivoting around on my toes, breathing in and breathing out. Try and keep your shoulders square just to avoid any kind of dropping of the shoulders. It also means that we have to work on our shoulder stability here whilst we twist. Breathing in, breathing out. Good, breathing in, breathing out. 1 more time each side, breathing in and breathing out. Last time, breathing in and breathing out. Through the middle, drop your knees down and take a little bit of a weight off your shoulders. All right. Okay. So let's look at extending that underneath leg. So the reason I'm doing twisting is because we tend to find that actually spines do get pretty stiff when it comes to twisting. I realise, albeit it's not the nicest twist to start with, but you know, there we go. So you're going to set your hands down, okay? And again, do less repetitions, take the breaks that you want to take. So when we're ready, you're going to breathe out and find this nice strong position. You're going to twist, but this time you're going to take that underneath leg and you're going to step it through. So I kind of feel a bit like a break dancer here, but there is a reason as to why my legs are bent. Shoulders are staying square, the underneath leg is trying to reach to straight, but for now, because both legs are bent, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. Yeah. We're going to step the foot back in, we're going to lower the knees down. Again, it's slightly more intense, so we want to also increase the breathing spaces as well. So we breathe out, hover the knees. If we can, cross it under, both legs are bent. Again, if it's available to you, you can lengthen, not so much the standing leg, not this leg, definitely the leg that's coming through. You can lengthen that if it's available to you. We then breathe out, drop it down. Breathing in, prepare, breathe out, press yourself up. Breathing in. And then breathing out, bring it back, lower the knees. Good, let's continue. Breathing in to prepare, bringing it out to bring the knees up. And again, keep the shoulders exactly where they are and just step that leg through and find a twist in the lower part of the body. Like I say, albeit not the nicest. Breathing out. Breathing in to prepare, lift it up, step it through. Fabulous. Great, and keep it calm as we can. Breathing in through the middle and drop it down. So last time you are going to come into a bit of a stretch on this one. So breathing in, tuck the toes, breathing out, press it up. Breathing in, bring that leg forward. And this time we're actually going to just wiggle our leg back. And we're going to sit our hips down. Yeah, so sitting our hips down. So we're in kind of this weird position where we've got one leg forward and one leg out. This is definitely a creative transition for Catherine in terms of stretches. Alright, so one leg forward, one leg back. One leg back, one leg to the side. Bring your hand down towards that left leg. We're going to reach ourselves up and over towards the side that we haven't worked, or towards the left leg it would be for you. Fabulous. If you can, you're going to say left hand in towards the inside of the knee. See, I told you it gets to this time of day and I'm like, no words. So we're going to start to look at opening through the chest. So again, really focus on what this right hand is doing and that'll hopefully help. If you need to, always bring yourself up so that you're higher. If you can, bring yourself here. We're going to take that right hand, we're going to reach it up and over, and kind of as if we're going to reach towards that left foot. Yeah, obviously we're not thinking about reaching the left foot because then that might cause the hip to lift. So I'm just going to kind of reach in the same direction of. Okay, just trying to increase a little bit of a stretch across the back here. We're then going to open the arm all the way up, and again, as always, feel free to be higher. We're going to open the body out to the side. We're not going to do a full circle because again, I want to avoid this kind of dead space for the shoulder. Keep it active. And then going to breathe in, reverse it. So again, it is up to you what you do with that right hand. Yeah, you might feel more comfortable with the hand flat. You might feel more comfortable with the hand on the foot. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Good, nice. And again, as always, as long as that side, or as long as the it'll be your right hip. As long as your right hip is staying down, abdominals are staying contracted. Breathing in to lift up. And breathing out to come up and over. And we should find this stretch kind of across, I suppose it's more the muscle that you'd call your QL, a huge stabilising muscle, but also down in towards the hip as well. If we're struggling with kind of glute pain and kind of associated with lower back pain, sometimes stretching the surrounding areas is quite nice. And then breathing out. Good, breathing in. This time just coming up towards the side, using that hand as weight to bring yourself all the way up. Bring your leg in and your leg out. Nice, reaching it up and over. I definitely notice the difference on this side. So again, taking your moment, breathing in and breathing out. When you're ready, just slowly kind of peel yourself forward, making sure that that back hip is staying glued to the floor. Use the abdominals just to keep your hips exactly where you want them to be. Breathing in when you're ready. Circling the arm back just 3/4 of the way. And then breathing out. Fabulous. And just doing 4 more here. And again, getting the stretch that you need for your body, but also this side. Yeah, so just notice, is it a shoulder thing that you need to be working on? Is it folding over in that hamstring stretch that you need to be working on? Good, fabulous. And just 2 more here. Fabulous, great. And on this final one, just breathing in, opening it out. This time we are going to bring ourselves towards the side. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick myself all the way up, just to give myself a little bit of space to bring your leg all the way around. Alright, okay. Let's roll back, shall we? So, I'm going to move that out of the way. I've just used the blocks to kind of make sure that the mat doesn't roll up. So, roll-ups, let's do it. So we're going to do 4. You do whatever it is that you need to do. Try your best to focus on getting this rounded back position, and I promise it will help. We are just going to, let's have a look. Yeah, we are going to roll through some just generic classic moves. So we're going to do our 100 into our roll-up. Not going to do our rollover. Maybe, I've put it down, but it might not be too focused on what we're doing. So 100 roll up, maybe roll over into rolling back. So straight into those 4 or 5 exercises. So your legs can be wherever they need to be for your roll ups. Reach your arms forward or up if you can. Breathing in to sit up nice and tall. Breathing out, round your body all the way back. And again, like I say, if those legs need to be apart, roll yourself down, feel the lower back on the floor, reach the hands over. Breathing out, reach ourselves up and bring ourselves back. And again, if we can, I know some of us were kind of wanting more kind of lower leg stretches. What you can do is, if it's available to you, have your hands around your feet. And actually, if you point and flex through the feet, you can use your body as a counterweight. So breathing in, and then breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. And again, reaching forward. And again, if you need a little bit more upper back stretch, if you point the feet, you should feel a little bit of a stretch across the back of the body. If you want a little bit more of a stretch across the lower legs, draw the toes towards you. Good, rolling down. And again, we're going to do 2 more of our roll-ups. And for that second roll-up, what I want you to do is glue your legs together. Okay, so the next time you come up to seated, take yourself into a stretch, but bring your feet together. This is because we're going to transition straight down into our 100. So reaching those arms forward. Once you get to a certain point where your legs can lift away from the floor, lift away. Again, you set the position, whether the legs are up, down, what your head is doing, and draw the belly button in. We're going to breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and flip those hands. 4, 5, breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. Good, breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. Lovely, in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. Good, keep those wrists strong. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. Good, halfway, here we go. In. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. Good, and in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. Rest the head if you need to. And in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2 more. In. 2, keep lengthening and activating the legs. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, and hold. Do not lower those legs, not just yet. We're going to bring those legs up towards the ceiling. Rest the head down. Going to bend the knees in, and if we can, we're going to take those knees apart. And this was more kind of for hip health rather than anything in particular, but it also helps with the rollover. So if we can, we're going to flex the feet. So we're in an externally rotated position. Make sure that the hips haven't dropped down, causing the lower back to lift. So what we are doing is we're going to aim out towards the diagonal. Yeah, try your best to keep your heels together. Unless you've got sway back legs, then that might be a little bit of a challenge. So keep those knees apart, really work the glutes. Pressing the knees apart, heels are together, higher than hip bones, and then press the feet out. Feet are going to stay flexed. Keep the abdominals drawn in. We're going to draw the heels in. If it makes more sense to you, you can point the feet. and then press out with a flexed foot. Good. If we can, just reaching those hands down, breathing in and breathing out. And again, it's just a little bit of external rotation work, breathing in and breathing out. Right, we're going to start to add on that variation of rollover. So what we're going to do is draw the knees in, breathing in, breathing out. Roll yourself up and over with your externally rotated legs. Point your legs, breathing in, breathing out. And again, if we can, making sure that the inside thighs are facing you, not your knees. Make sure we have the space between the chest and the thighs as well. You should, if you were to talk, sound relatively funny. So, and then what we're going to do is place the toes down, but you'll notice that your feet won't be flat. You'll notice that it will be your big toes. If this is not comfortable, place your pillows so that you can be slightly more elevated. Okay? If we can, take those legs slightly wider, point the feet, and roll yourself down. However, this time we are just going to go to the ceiling, bring the legs together, and bend the legs. So that is that full sequence. So the legs are bent. We breathe in here, we breathe out here. We breathe in, point to lift. We breathe out, roll ourselves up. We breathe in, if you can, feet towards the floor. Your hands can go up and over if you want. We then take the legs out. We then roll it down, using the abdominals, and then again, bring the feet together, point to lower. Flex the feet out as you exhale. Draw the belly button in, breathing in. I should have brought my hands down, sorry, breathing out. We then flex the feet. If you want to, take those arms up and over. Feet down towards the floor by lengthening the back. Take the feet wide. It's really hard to talk. Breathing out, rolling down, and bring the feet together. Just one more here. And again, if any of that ain't working, just do that nice kind of reformer footwork. Bring the legs in and out. Yeah, rollover is a horrid move. Feels great when you've got it, but literally suffocates you until you've got it. So it's a horrid move. Good, lovely. If you've decided to have a bit of a break with this one, that's fine. If you are kind of rolling yourself over, next time you bring yourself down to the floor, just hug your knees in towards your chest. Yeah, whatever your rollover look like. Alright, so we're going to hug our knees in towards our chest, and we're going to do just a few of our rolling backs, but obviously that means we have to then get ourselves up first. So, hug your knees in towards your chest, breathing in, breathing out. Set yourself, obviously make sure you've got enough space behind you. Create a nice rounded position, if you can, holding on to the fronts of the ankles. If not, shins or the tops of the knees. Roll yourself back. Create as much space between the chest and thighs as possible, and you're going to roll yourself back. So we breathe in, breathing out. Good, nice. And again, working on that abdominal work if we need to. Just starting seated, roll yourself back. Try your best to get up to seated. Yeah. Now the recommendation of abdominal work was given, as always. So if you want to, breathing in, breathing out, we're then going to send a little bit of a flourish, send your arms around, and either reaching your legs as so, or you can reach all the way up. We breathe in, we breathe out, we scoop, lengthen, and in. Yeah, nice, and it's looking nice. It's a nice present. Yeah, it takes your mind off that boat position, or the abdominals, or the fact that your legs might weigh a ton. Yeah, mine definitely do there. So it just allows you that little, and then in. Good, let's just do two more here. Breathing in to roll back, breathing out to come up, breathing in, and breathing out. Roll yourself back, And up. Good, lovely. If we can, we're going to just bring ourselves into our kind of boat position. So we're neither in a teaser, but we're also not in our rolling like a ball. So we're going to reach those legs so that the shins are parallel. We're going to pull our abdominals away. We're going to roll ourselves back, roll ourselves up. Try and find this position. So this is kind of a halfway between rolling back and open leg rocker. Yeah, so we want to try and keep our knees in line with the same part of the body as possible. 2 more. And it's difficult because you want your legs to do more, but we have to try and stabilize the body so we don't do too much, but we also don't do too little. All right, good, lovely. When we're here, hugging your right knee in, we're going to lengthen our left leg out. Now, because we're going to do this slightly differently, so instead of us being on our back, we're going to start seated. You might find that you end up holding both hands down towards the shin. Yeah, so breathing in and out. And out. What I want us to try and avoid is this kind of moving forward and back. And out. And out. When we're comfortable, we're going to bring ourselves down. And then we're into our single leg stretch. 2, 3, 4. Keep breathing. Breathing in. And again, please feel free to rest the head down if you need to. Good, lovely. And again, nice and slow with that movement, breathing in, and out, and out. Breathing in, and out, and out. Good, lovely. 2 more. Last one. Hug both knees in, come into your double leg stretch. So we hug both knees in, if you can. Keep that head elevated, lengthen the arms, nice long, abdominals down, breathing in and out. Breathing in to extend out, and out to pull everything in. Breathing in, and breathing out. Obviously take those legs a little bit higher if we need to, and breathe out. Let's do 3 more. Breathing in, and breathing out. 2 more. Breathing in and breathing out. Last one. Breathing in and breathing out. Hold it there. Bring your right leg up, hands around the back of the calf, or again around towards the back of the ankle. Light pressure in and in. Now if you want an extra calf stretch here, again flex that foot. Have a gentle support on, I suppose, the back of the calf and also the top of the toe, probably towards the big toe. Little gentle draw in and keep breathing. Again, it's a series of 5. This is number 3. Good, lovely. And again, if your focus is calf stretching, you might want to rest the head down. You might want to take a moment where you're still. You might want to place the leg down. Okay. Nice, fabulous. Just one more time on each side. Fabulous. The leg that's closest to me, bring that leg in. Take those hands around the back of the head. Breathing in to lengthen the head down. Little rest. Breathing out. Curl and twist. Again, our crisscross can be done with bent legs. But if we can, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and out. Out. Good, lovely. And again, the higher that your shoulder blades are off, the more that we're contracting through the middle of the body. But again, you can do this as a single scissor and work on hip work. And this is 4 of 5. Keep breathing in and out. And out. Last one. In and out and out. Last one. Bring both legs up towards the ceiling, parallel or turned out. It is up to you. We're going to breathe in, lower the legs down, keep the head down if you want to. If you want to, point the feet bring the legs up. As we lower the body down, or lower the legs down, sorry, we lift the head and shoulders away. If you want to, you can bring the hands here. Personally, I feel like supporting the head is a little bit better. Breathing in and breathing out. 3 more. Breathing in to lower it down. Breathing out to bring it up. Good. 2 more. Breathing in and breathing out. Last one. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. Lovely. Hug your knees in towards your chest and gently rock yourself up. Okay. So, if we can, final stretch, and this is up to you. So if you want to, you can spend a little bit of time working on a stretch for the lower body, or you can rest, which I recently found out this was called supported fish. So, just the names are so funny. So supported fish is essentially, you have your head supported, pretty much the exercise we did, or the rest position we did last week. So you rest your upper body down. If you feel like you need to open up through your chest a little bit more, and you would rest yourself here. So this is supported fish. If you want to lie down, rest yourself, chill out, if you want to do that one, you can. If you want something that's a little bit more kind of active for the legs, what I'm going to get you to do is place both feet. Now, I hate this stretch. So the fact I'm even doing it is an interesting one in itself. But if we can, we're going to elevate the feet with either 1 pillow or 2. Sit yourself up nice and tall. If you want to, you can have a little bit more of an opening here, or you can be a little bit more active by reaching yourself forward. Yeah, so it's up to you. Yeah, so you can either lie down in your supported fish, or if you want to, finding a little opening for the hips, rocking side to side. It's quite a nice one to sit back in. Or if you want to, find that opening, hands supporting the ankles, allow the knees to rest, breathing in, allow your elbows to just kind of guide in front of the shins, and breathing out. If you want a little hip opener, but this one feels just a little bit too much, what you can do is just take your hands through, and that can help a little bit of an opener from the hips, but without the holding on to your ankles for dear life. Yeah. I suppose you could also put your hands underneath your pillows, I guess, and open up that way. And this is a nice one if we feel like our backs are a little bit sore, especially kind of lower down. We can really find a little opening here for the hips. But again, if you feel like you need to open up through the chest, maybe this one could kind of help a little bit more. Yeah, so either supported fish or this one. Good, and wherever we are, we're going to take one more nice deep breath in. And as we breathe out, roll yourself up or bring yourself out of that stretch, whatever it may be. We're going to bring our legs around. I'm actually going to just get rid of those pillows, and we're going to take one leg back into a bit of a fourth position. We've done a little bit of rounding stuff today, so just taking a gentle rock kind of forward and back. We're not going to come into a pigeon or anything like that, but again, if you want to, you can take a little stretch for the front of the thigh here, or you can just rock forward and back. Just making sure that the hip can still move, rocking forward and back. It's also quite nice for the upper back as well, but you can do what you want with this one. And like I say, as long as this is all switched on, doesn't really matter what we do with the legs and the upper body. As long as middle of the body is strong and protected, yeah, we can do anything. Good, lovely. And if we can, without the use of those hands, just transition ourselves over to the other side and rocking forwards and back. Good, lovely. Keeping things moving is quite nice. Sometimes stretching is quite nice. It's always good to figure out, I suppose, what variation you like to do. Like, I love stretching, but I definitely like moving more. which is why I really enjoy flow through classes rather than being still. Also, I'm not the type of person that likes to be still. Don't know if any of you know that. And then bringing it back through, just bringing the hands down and stepping the knees and the feet back. Keeping the toes tucked, just transitioning ourselves through that leg pull front and actually through a bit of a downward dog for that final calf stretch. And you stay here as long as you feel like you need to. Again, keeping an eye on the feet, that they are hip distance apart. They haven't gone too wide. Bend in the legs will provide a bit of a stretch across the soleus or the underneath part of the gastrocs or the calves. Keeping them straight or just hit straight into the calves and your hamstrings. But when you are ready, just walking your hands all the way back into a bit of a forward foldy position, chin in towards chest. Keeping the weight forward in the toes, feel the activation in the backs of the legs. And when you're ready, just slowly peel yourself all the way up. We haven't done any standing work today, so just take your time to roll yourself all the way up. Good, lovely. And just bringing those legs together when you are ready. Reaching the arms all the way up, or a shoulder circle. And breathing out. 2 more, breathing in. And close the ribs as you breathe out. 1 more time, breathing in. And breathing out. Alright. Oh, well done everyone. So hopefully we feel a little bit more kind of relaxed or at least stretched out. Feel like we've put in a little bit of work. We've had a little bit of a workout. We didn't get to crab, which I'm absolutely good at that. But, you know, these things happen. So hopefully we can get to it next week. But like I say, if you have any questions or any problems or anything you need to ask me or anything that you might be stuck with, you know where I am. Drop me an email or find me on Facebook or anything like that, and I will be happy to answer your questions. Alright, but for now, have a lovely evening, stay safe, and hopefully I will see you all again soon. Bye!